Just days ago, Republican Senator John Barrasso saying the administration had failed to present a strategy. So, did tonight's speech change Senator Barrasso's view? He joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Sir, has it changed your mind on the issue of whether or not we have a strategy?
I still don't think we have a compelling case to go to war. The president visited with both the Senate Democrats as well as Republicans today. He gave a speech to the country, and I don't think he has changed the minds of the American people, and I don't believe he's changed the minds of the members of Congress. I voted against the resolution in the Foreign Relations Committee, and if the vote were tonight, I would also vote against it. I think if the vote were today, in the Senate, it would fail, and I believe in the House, they'd be lucky to get 100 votes.
So that means he'd get a big no out of both houses, in your opinion. All right. How did his speech tonight compare to what he said to you on Capitol Hill tonight, today?
We met with him for about an hour and 15 minutes. I think he was more forthcoming, talked about some of the issues about do you bring other countries in, but I don't think he changed the minds of the senators, and I think the majority of us were opposed to action at this point. We have concerns. What does this look like a week from now, a month from now, a year from now? Remember, tomorrow is the anniversary of 9/11, not just of 1 year ago, Benghazi, but 12 years ago in New York and in Washington. And national security is on everyone's mind, and people still are not convinced that this is in the best interest of the American people in terms of a threat to our national security.
Right. Did he take questions today when he was with the senator to speak to you? Took questions?
No, he spoke for about 5 minutes and then took questions for over an hour.
What was the toughest question you think that he faced in the Senate today?
It seemed to me the question of what does it look like a year from now, or what is actually your best case scenario for Syria if Assad is gone, and he compared this in a way to Iraq, with multiple different groups and factions coming together in some way,
and his answer was
disjointed.
And his answer was what?
That the current situation in Iraq, with the numbers of different groups coming together, because there are so many different factions within Syria right now. I don't think there is a good solution out there, but certainly relying on Russia is not the right solution.
Senator John McCain seems convinced that, and he's been over there a number of times, and I always sort of pay a lot of attention to people who've been there and talk to people on the ground. He believes that arming the rebels and that is a good idea, and that the rebels, that there's a defined group of rebels that he thinks are, good people for us to arm and to stand behind. Did you get the sense that the president thinks there's that group?
Well, they use the phrase vetted rebels, but there are at least 6 major groups and maybe 40 different minor groups of rebels. I don't think it's clear who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, and I think that's the way the American people see it. That's the way I sure hear about it in Wyoming in town hall meetings and all around the state.
What did the president say today about any conversations he's had with President Putin?
The president indicated that these have actually been going on for a while, continued the discussion at the G20 summit. But you got to realize that President Putin came up through the KGB and then ran the KGB. Russia, I believe the reset has failed with Russia, and you look at what their own records are with chemical weapons.
I think also, isn't it Russia's only base in the Middle East is in Syria? So they have I mean, they don't want us to hit that one. They want us to, they want to make sure that Syria is protected for them.
Well, they've been selling weapons to Syria. The Russians have not done a good job of verifying the disposal of their own chemical weapons. So to have them involved and raise them to a level with Syrian chemical weapons, and Greta, there are 1,000 tons of chemical weapons that we know of in Syria. To dispose of those will take decades. This is not an easy effort, even if you have everybody cooperating.
Senator, as always, thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me.